When I first got on Reddit, I was into it for entertainment purposes purely. Things that I found interesting and if I just wanted some mindless doom scrolling fodder, Reddit Reddit was the perfect kind of channel for that for a long time. But then I got kind of slowly hooked on the life hacking shit that you can find on Reddit. And for me, I think it's always kind of like the foot in the door, the kind of the way that you get slowly more entangled with this type of stuff is something seemingly frivolous. It'll be something like a tip like from Anthony Bourdain saying, "Don't order fish from a restaurant on Monday because you'll be eating like Friday morning's fish. Wait till Tuesday if you feel like some seafood." Stuff like that where you're like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." Something that's easy to kind of remember. You store it away, and then you go on with your life and you incorporate it in. But for me, at least, the way that I operate is that I can kind of I get obsessive with things a little bit, and so I would be like just using Reddit for entertainment. And you know how these channels are now. It's they're always kind of like tracking your every move and trying to put the cart before the horse in many instances where they're like, you checked out this. What about this? What about that? What about this other one? And so that can be frustrating and they often miss the mark, but sometimes they get it right. The algorithm, people shit on the algorithm because it is fucking powerful. And I think that it has, at least for me, had somewhat of a snowball effect in terms of the life hacking optimization bullshit where I was like, oh yeah, eating fish on a Monday. That's a good idea. And then it's like, what about how to buy shoes? What about a good winter coat? What about knives for my kitchen? You can kind of start like looking, there's best practices for every fucking thing, but they're essentially just made up things that are contextual. I guess there are certain hard and fast rules, but how much they apply to your particular life depends on how well you understand your own life, I guess. But at least to me, I start to think about like I start to think about everything that I'm doing, and is there a I second guess everything I do. Essentially, I start thinking, is there a better way for me to be doing whatever I'm doing? It got to a point where I'm kind of like, okay, how should I be breathing? On YouTube, there's all these breath work experts. And you know what? I laugh at it, but there's a part of me thinking that, like, yeah, I'm gonna spend my whole life fucking breathing. Why don't I take a little bit of time and, you know, pan for gold, see what's out there that's going to be useful for me? Because that's the other thing as well, is that like you go in with like a wide-eyed attitude, or at least seemingly a wide-eyed open perspective, but with a lot of these things you just tell the story you want to tell. Like if you're looking to buy a new watch and you look for advice on the fucking buy it for life subreddit or something, you maybe have a clear idea of what you want already. You're like, okay, I'm not going to spend more than fucking $150 on a watch, but that's really what I'm going to get to. But you don't reveal that answer to yourself. It's kind of like the answer, but you don't really want to say it aloud. You wait till you find someone else to write it in passing, and then you find validating evidence for, you know, to kind of back up your original claim. So that's the other thing as well, is that you can go down this like life hacking rabbit hole and think that you're actually making improvements or you're actually learning stuff from external sources, but potentially you're just kind of finding external validation for things you already believe or things that you're already going to do anyway. Except rather than you just taking ownership and being like, yeah, this is what I want to do, you pussyfoot around and you kind of like become a little bit paralysis by analysis type of shit. So anyway, I basically I go, and that's the kind of realization, is that like you're chasing some type of balance, right? You ideally you want some type of middle way where you're worrying about how to improve your life in the areas in which it matters, and then the things that don't matter, you're not sweating the small stuff, and you're just kind of like going about your business. It's like, oh, whoop-de-doo, I overspent on gala apples at the Kroger by 15 cents because I didn't buy them on Thursday. But fuck it. I think I can wear with that. I can wear that 15-cent mistake. But yeah, I don't, I'm not really capable of the middle way. That's the realization. I go from like, I swing from like completely analyzing and fretting and over researching every aspect of my life. And then I'll kind of burn out on that and realize the redundancy of so much of that. And then I'll go completely in the other direction where everything's feel, baby. I'm like Keith Richards in 1975. I'm just like, yeah, I like me sounds, just experimental, whatever. I'm just kind of feeling my way through life, going on vibes. And it's a fluctuation I'd like to call, I essentially go from like Rain Man to Burning Man. That's kind of my engineering palette, or my 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 two modes of existing. And right now I feel like I'm basically nearly about to burn out on a fucking Rain Man episode, which is good timing really, because it's about to be the fucking silly season, and I want to really hear those jingle bells, and I want to really feel the big guy's gut when I sit on his lap and tell him what I want for Chrissy. But yeah, I've come to, because that was the other thing that was freaking me. I started to try and research that. I was like, how do I figure out what to worry about and what not to worry about? And that's the fucking $1 million question. Everyone's fucking worried. There's no answers to a lot of these things. And so I've realized, okay, just go from one extreme to the other, but then make sure you don't exist for too long in one extreme. Consider in WA where I grew up, there's a thing called FIFO, fly in, fly out. It's for all the mining people who work in the remote parts of the States. Most of them are based in Perth. Their friends and family are in Perth, and they usually have a 1 week on, 1 week off, fly in, fly out shift where you work for 7 days straight, you come home, you're at home for 7 days straight. Or maybe you work for 14 days straight and then you come back for a week. That's essentially what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go from like, I'm not going to try and fuck around in the middle because I know I'm not capable of that. I'm just going to go from one extreme to the other, because then when you balance that out over a long enough period of time, then it is fucking the middle way. So once again, I've outsmarted myself. Hell yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one. Bye.